Hi guys, and welcome to the Eternal Quest Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and for choosing to watch this video. With today's pick-a-pile reading, we are going to be asking the question, does your person feel the same connection that you feel towards them? So the feelings that you have, are they being reciprocated at this time? If you feel very drawn to them and you feel a certain, like I said, level of resonance with the person that is on your mind as you're watching this reading, we want to look at what is going on with them and do they feel the same. I'm also going to be looking into the probable future of the connection. So the first part is going to be kind of like the energy check-in, or getting the answer to that question. Do they feel connected? And based on what we see with those cards, what is going to be the probable future of this connection as it unfolds? And I say probable because as you may or may not already know, that with tarot readings, they usually are a snapshot of the current energies, as in what is going on right now in the connection. And this can change, and the future can change. It's very malleable, or whatever you call it, like changeable. Mercurial is a better word, depending on the shift in energies that would lead to that future, if that makes sense. And it's very much dependent on what you want to manifest, what you want to bring in, like just in general, not just with this reading, just in general. So when you focus on that energy, when you create that energy within you, it can definitely affect the future of anything, including this connection. So that's how the reading is going to pan out. With this one, as with my readings nowadays, I'm planning to keep this relatively short, even though each reading was at least like half an hour long, and to cut down on the time and to keep the readings relatively short, I have already pre-drawn the tarot and oracle cards for each of the pile, whichever you were to choose. So yeah, that's about it. Also keep in mind, this is a general reading, so not all the messages with these piles will resonate, but even with that, I hope that you find the answers that you're looking for and the peace that you're looking for, the clarity that you're seeking with each of these readings. So let's get on with the pile selection. For the first one, I have this purple fire and ice crystal with the Modern Witch tarot deck. For the second one, it's the Affirmators tarot with the burnt orange fire and ice crystal. For the third selection, pile 3, it's this red fire and ice crystal with the Mystic Medleys tarot. So pause the video if you need some more time to see which stone calls your attention, or maybe the art on the back of the cards, the name of the cards, whatever helps you choose. And all the timestamps to your reading will be listed in the description box below, so just click on it and it will take you reading. Again, thank you for being here, and I will see you at your reading. Take care. Hi pile 1, so if you chose the purple fire and ice crystal with the Modern Witch tarot, this is your reading. So just to make this reading short, as I said in the intersection, and to save some time shuffling the cards, I have pre-drawn all the cards that I'm bringing into the reading, the tarot and the oracle. And we are going to be looking into whether your person, the connection that you have on your mind, whether they feel connected to you as well. So this could be talking about a new relationship or a crush, where, you know, not a lot has been exchanged in terms of your innermost feelings about each other, and you're just wondering, you know, what is happening in this connection, and where it's likely to head, which I'm going to look into. By the way, we are going to take a look at the current energies of your person. So what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are the things that are supporting the connection or the challenges within the connection? And also look at, you know, where this is probably headed. And I say probably, of course, because nothing is set in stone. A tarot reading is always speaking about what is going on right now, the current energies, and that is always changeable, and specifically so. And I always say this, and this is challenging to hear and difficult to understand maybe for some of you, but it always depends on your own energy and what you are wanting to manifest in the future. So once you switch that, the outcome in the future will switch. But without further ado, let's take a look at the present energies. What is your person feeling and thinking right now? And do they feel connected to you as well? So we are starting with the Eight of Wands. We have the Page of Cups. Wow. So just by looking at these two cards, I can tell, you know, definitely yes, definitely yes, feeling the connection, feeling having romantic feelings towards you. And we have the reversed Two of Wands. Okay. So with the Page of Cups, the pages are all about communication, also about new feelings, something that has not really developed yet fully. Like, for example, this might be, you know, just the beginning of a crush, like I said, or it could be the beginning of a relationship. So these are new feelings, catching new feelings towards you. And the pages are also about communication. So I feel like your person not only feels the way that they feel, which is, you know, cups is a card of emotion and having those romantic feelings towards you, but I feel like they also have a desire, so to speak, to communicate those feelings to you. Okay, with the Eight of Wands, there are a couple of things that I'm getting. Eight of Wands is again about communication, so communication coming to you, towards you, and a desire to do that, okay? But it also can talk about like fast moving, fiery energy. By the way, fire signs might be significant here. Out of the three cards, we have two cards that represent the fire element in the tarot. Excuse me. So we might be dealing with someone who, you know, has fire energy within their astrological chart. So that could be significant, but not necessarily. It might just mean that they bring the fire energy into this relationship. So like I was saying, Eight of Wands can represent that desire to communicate, but it also represents like a fast-moving energy. So it's possible that you met your person at a time when you guys were both very busy, or maybe they came into your life like in a very speedy and like a flash kind of, you know, fast, unpredictable kind of way. Okay. Maybe you met this person while you were busy running around and like doing your errands or like working or something, and your paths crossed, or you know, fate put them in your path or put you on their path, but it feels like something that, you know, really unexpectedly happened, and like I said, in somewhat of a speedy manner. It's also kind of making me think that maybe when you guys met, the circumstances around that meeting may have been somewhat busy, as in like, again, both of you maybe were on the go, maybe like tackling too many things at the same time, just very busy. And this connection happened like all of a sudden in a very unexpected sort of a way. So answering the question, do they feel the connection? Definitely yes. But we have the Two of Wands energy here, and in its upright position, the Two of Wands, in especially romantic readings, how I read it as, you know, the interest being present from both sides. So one wand each representing like the fire element for both of you, and I usually see it as that kind of like an energy, which I feel is still present in this connection in the reversed position that the card came up in. But since this card came up in the reverse position, sorry for turning it around so many times, I feel like there is somewhat of either like a hesitation from your person's side in communicating, or not, or maybe they do not know what the future of this connection is, and that could be because of several reasons. Okay, one of the reasons that might be relevant here is that they maybe do not know how you feel, like not knowing whether their feelings are reciprocated. Maybe it's exactly the same. Okay, like you're watching this reading wondering if they feel the same, and they might have that question on the top of their mind too, like, does this person really want to take things further? Are they interested in you know, furthering this connection and allowing it to develop into something more? We have a person here that's holding a phone, and it looks like, you know, she's waiting to either send a text or receive a text from someone. And so that is what makes me think like this person is not really sure of your feelings as well. Okay, they might not be sure about the future of this connection as well, like where is this gonna head. Okay, maybe right off the top of the bat, they you know, noticed or felt certain things which is causing them to hesitate in terms of like how they feel about the future of your relationship, and that's the reason why things might have slowed down, or either like come to like an abrupt standstill. You know, like initially when you meet this person, there's like sparks flying and a lot is happening, and there's a lot of communication, and you feel quite connected and motivated, like this person is driving towards our Page of Cups. So I feel like from both your sides, it was like a real sense of excitement of having met someone that resonates so much on so many different levels. But I feel like with the Two of Wands, the things might have slowed down considerably, or might have even come to like a standstill, because again, that wondering like whether you feel the same, and if there's a possibility of this connection going further. So we definitely see a blockage here in the first three cards with this connection. Let's draw your oracle cards and see what they say. So we are starting with, we are starting with the Despicable Face. And think of these oracle cards as kind of like the surrounding energy that might be influencing this connection as well. And we have number 30, the Freedom to Love. Let me move this up here. We have, wow, Rose with Romance. Okay. And we have Kabbalah, Tree of Life. Okay. Alright, so where should I begin? There are too many thoughts popping into my mind. I'm going to start with the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, and the Freedom to Love. Now, these are very deeply spiritual cards. So, I feel like if you were to... and there are chances that this connection will grow into something significant. Like, that much is pretty clear to me. And I feel like this person will be quite significant in your life journey, okay? Because we have these two cards, the Kabbalah, Tree of Life, and the Freedom to Love. Like I was saying, they're very spiritual cards. These are the type of relationships, like this is a relationship reading, of course, and the type of relationship that hold this energy, there is tremendous potential for your spiritual growth through this connection and your experiences in this connection with this person. Okay, I don't know if you have heard of the Kabbalah or Kabbalion. Is it called Kabbalion as well? I'm not sure, but at least with the Kabbalah tree of life, all these like green circles, they represent like certain points in our spiritual journey, where each of the, like, think of all the green circles that are interconnected. Think of them as kind of like pit stops in your spiritual journey, where every pit stop is like one level up, but they're all interconnected. So it's that beautiful integration of not only like your mental and psychological processes, but also your physical, emotional and spiritual, like all combining and contributing to your spiritual growth. Okay, and as well as this, like the lotus merging with the heart here, with the angel wings. This is a representation of Christ consciousness within this deck, which is the sacred geometry of relationships deck, in case you were wondering. By the way, if you're ever curious about what decks I used in the reading, the information is always in the description box. But yeah, as I was saying, this is sort of like a pictorial representation of Christ consciousness. So this is the deep realization we have that we are united with everything else in our world and everything else in this world. There is no separation. So living in that kind of high vibe consciousness bliss being the end goal of these two cards, this tells me that this person is not going to go away from your life very soon or anytime soon, and that they would be very pivotal in your own spiritual journey. And I feel like it's also contributing or important for their spiritual growth and their spiritual journey as well. So both of you, through this relationship, it's gonna open up like newer levels of consciousness for you, and also seeing things from a different perspective, because as our consciousness rises, we just have these enormous gigantic shifts within our perception that allow us to experience life in a completely different way. And I love that the rose card with the romance has come, or it organically got laid not only in between these two cards, which is why I felt like through this romantic connection and through your whatever you share with this person, it's going to be quite significant in your spiritual growth. So romance being the like central school, if you will, that becomes that vehicle to take you to the next level of consciousness. But it's also interesting that it comes up along with, or just underneath, the Page of Cups card, which is all about romantic feelings. Okay, so definitely I feel like this has a lot of potential to grow, but we saw a blockage with the first three cards, as I said, with the reverse Two of Wands, which is like not feeling certain if this connection is going to grow, or your person not feeling certain about whether you feel the interest as well or not. And that is one of the things that is contributing to this blockage, this hesitation that they might feel at this time in taking this connection to the next level, or in taking things further, is the despicable face. Now, the despicable face is all about our inner insecurities, everything that makes us feel quite reserved and quite ashamed in a way of showing our true self. Okay, but here's the thing about the energy of this card. On one hand, it is that, that feeling guilty or shameful or like uncertain, insecure, not confident enough in like sharing ourselves with the world or with another person. But on the other side, once this hurdle is crossed, and once that side to us is revealed, it's kind of like that realization that all this while it was just human. Okay, so there's a lot to be or like as I was saying, a perspective shift that is coming in this connection. I feel this could be your feeling, this could be your person's feeling, but more so feels like your person's feeling at this time. And also it could be, I'm getting like this could also be coming from a past relationship, like the past hurt that they have experienced in connections might be making them feel like in past connections maybe they were not like fully accepted for who they are. Maybe they had partners who criticized them. This could also be coming from their own trauma, like their childhood trauma, of all the things that they were made to feel guilty about or ashamed of, and it might be contributing to the level of self-confidence that they bring to the table at this time, and maybe like that's causing a hesitation. But I feel like it's a block that if and when, and more like when, it feels like a matter of time, because like I said, this does not feel like a passing connection or something that can be written off very lightly. It feels like a significant connection, in other words, is what I'm trying to say. So in significant connections, usually people do not go away from our life so easily, and they are here to teach us like very important lessons. So I feel like together, or through their interaction with you, or their experiences in this romance, they are bound to cross that hurdle in which they will feel more confident, more comfortable in revealing themselves, okay, sharing more of their own selves with you. And when they find that there is acceptance that comes from you of all of the things that they perceived as their shortcomings, they will start seeing, I feel like, that shadow aspect of themselves as very human, and they will become more self-accepting. So there is room for love to grow, but currently it feels like this has been causing like a lot of blockage there. It might be something that you might be aware of, or something that you probably do sense at this time. I feel like as an energy that is present within your person. Let's look at your teacups card. We have the Valley. It says deep personal strength and peace that assure success. Okay, this is important. Then we have broken rings, parting of the ways in either romance or business. And we have the teapot. It says deep friendship with someone of the same sex. But to me, when I look at the teapot card, especially in relationship reading, or when there is a coming together of like two parties or more than two parties, to me, that always feels like a sit-down, heart-to-heart conversation, like the kind of conversation that you would have with a friend or someone you feel very close to over a cup of tea. So those are the kind of like associations, my own associations as a tarot reader, that I make with the teapot card. And I feel like I said, there are many conversations that I feel like you are a person and you are going to share in the near future. Okay, and there will be a bonding of your minds and your hearts and your souls of sorts over these conversation. I feel like these would be very important and very something that really shifts how you both feel towards each other, like takes away the blockages, so to speak, and really change of perspective. Okay, I also feel like these conversations will be healing to not only you but also to your person, so both of you finding some sense of healing through the conversation, like just having a good time. Imagine having shared a cup of tea and having a conversation, sitting down with someone that you feel really close to, and you find very easy to open up to. So how that conversation would feel, it would be very healing, very soul feeding in a way. So I feel like those are the kind of vibes and those are the kind of like emotions I associate with the teapot card, and it's a really great presence here, the energy is very present, and it's also a very good energy that to have with this type of reading. So it kind of makes me feel a little less bothered about the blockages or the blockage that I see here with the despicable face. I feel like there will be avenues and opportunities to open up. Now with the broken ring, again, like I said, past relationships might be influencing this connection. So it could be from their side, but also could be from your side, both your sides. So this is about like past relationships having gone bad, and romance not really flowering and growing. Okay, that might be influencing how they are feeling in this connection and how they are viewing it at this time. And the Valley, as I said, this card is really important and really beautiful actually, because this invites you or kind of challenges you to focus on your personal strength and your sense of peace. Okay, so the way to really help this connection or to support this connection to grow, this relationship to grow and to blossom into something more solid and something more that is substantial. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The one way that you can help this connection, and I feel like you will be naturally called to do so, is to focus on your personal strength and your sense of peace. Okay, as you interact with this person. Now this could mean, you know, not allowing yourself to take what happens in this relationship, take it personally, and really managing your triggers. Most of the life, let me step away from this reading for a little bit, for next few seconds, if I may. And emotional management, managing your own emotional reactions, and having a good reign of control over those, that is the key to manifesting anything that you want in your life. Okay, because the circumstances, the 3D circumstances, as they say, if you're familiar with manifestation and the terminology, but your present circumstances that you might be in right now, they might be completely opposite and sometimes even painful to go through. But the point is, or the goal is, to not let ourselves get too attached to the emotions of the present moment, and to focus on the end goal that we are trying to create. Now, let me put this out there with this connection. I don't feel that there would be any kind of required focus from your point of from your side or your person's side. I feel like this connection has manifested into your life because you're supposed to go through the life lessons that it is going to bring forth, and it's just the right time, you know, the right time for your soul as well as your partner's soul to go through those experiences and to incorporate the lessons that you'll learn with each other. So I don't think that there has to be like a special, you know, like put any kind of like special effort into maintaining your focus at the end goal. That's like for or in cases where you're deliberately trying to imbibe a certain energy and bring that manifestation to life or into your world. But I feel like through this relationship, you both will be challenged to bring this into practice, which is like, you know, having a deep connection with your own self, and therefore like a focus on your personal strength, and also maintaining a sense of peace within this connection, because I feel like it will be fueled by a mutual desire to continue on with this relationship and to allow it to grow. So that makes doing the things that need to be done in a much more easier and effortless kind of a way. So that is very beautiful to see. Now let's move on to your next set of tarot cards, which is going to talk about the near future or the future of this connection, like where it is headed based on what we saw right now, present energies. And we are starting with the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. The Seven of Pentacles, Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I am loving these energies for you guys. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay, all right. And we have the Lovers. Okay, the Lovers card kind of encompasses everything that we have been talking about so far for your relationship. So the Lovers is all about a choice, you know, making a choice to connect with someone over, you know, the other choice, which is like letting the relationship go. So I feel like mutually, not only you guys like have been connected in the past, as in your past lifetimes, but I feel like it's a choice that your soul has made to meet this person in this lifetime, at this point of time in your life and in theirs, because like I said, you guys are ready to not only advance individually as souls to the next spiritual like higher level of consciousness, but also to enjoy each other and to share and grow with each other. So there's definitely a past life component to this relationship. Also, again, this reconfirms sort of the first part of the reading, which is, you know, when I said that they definitely do feel a connection as intensely as you do, as, you know, as you feel drawn to them, they have the same kind of level of attraction here that I see. And it's what do you call it? It's written in the stars, or sort of, but it's usually not like that. But you know what I mean? Like it's a choice that our soul makes, so it's not really written. It's a personal choice, but it's a fated connection in more layman's terms. So definitely a divine, spiritual, deep connection with this person that seems to be continuing on. And having like great potential for the future. But let's talk about the other cards. One of the things that I said, that, you know, you guys will be learning a lot through this connection. And one of the ways that this learning happens, or spiritual growth happens, is by kind of oscillating between states of flow within the connection, and then to a state of like really reassessing what we invest into the connection in terms of like what energy we put out. So typically that is how growth works. It's not a linear process, and I hope that you're coming to the table with a clear understanding of that. So it's not a linear process. It's always back and forth, and it's like shifting of, you know, you being in one state and then shifting to the other state, which is, like I said, being in the flow and then pausing and reflecting. So I feel like there will be a lot of that going on in the future with your connection. And the Three of Pentacles, again, is kind of like that collaborative effort, okay? Coming together and combining your resources with the aim of building something new. Okay, learning from each other. This is also about skill sharing. Sometimes you would be playing the role of this person on the stool here, who's some kind of like a craftsman, maybe like a, you know, like sculptor or something, taking directions from this team. Sometimes you would be the one directing your person. So I feel like, you know, you guys, this connection, you guys have been thrown together in this lifetime because there's something else that you both collectively are going to build, something that is bigger than both of you, and something bigger than both of your life goals combined. So some sort of like a collaborative efforts that birth something new. Okay, this also could be representative of like building a future together, or planning about, like, you know, what kind of future you guys are looking at, building a family home. So all those types of like things that are outside of you, and for which both of your collaborative efforts are required. So there will be continuous kind of like development in that direction. And the Queen of Pentacles is a very beautiful, nurturing energy, okay? So think of the Queen of Pentacles as, or think of the pentacle that is like sitting on the Queen's lap as sort of like that egg that she's really looking after, putting her energy into, giving it what it needs, like really nurturing it. As I said, nurturing is the key word here that pops in my mind. So I feel like both you and your person will be quite careful in a very good way in terms of how you guys treat each other, how you treat the connection, and there is continually that, you know, wanting to make each other feel very safe. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Like in the past, maybe, as I said, they have not felt safe in relationships, and maybe it's the same for you. So both of you bring a lot of nurturing, soul nurturing towards each other, and with the hopes of like really keeping each other not only feeling like it's safe to share, it's safe to grow, but it's also safe to love. So it's a very, very beautiful, profound energy that I see on my table for this pile 1 reading. I'm like really happy with it. So even though there you might be experiencing blockages, and maybe you both are wondering at this point like where this is headed, I feel like this has tremendous potential to grow, and it's a big yes for whether your person does feel the connection or not. So yeah, I think that is all I'm getting for you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this mini reading. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, all the information is in the description box down below. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your presence on my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 2 that chose the Fire and Ice crystal in the burnt orange color, or the Affirmators Tarot deck. This is your reading. So in order to keep the readings relatively short as compared to my other readings, which are about 45 minutes to an hour long, I have gone ahead and pre-drawn the tarot and oracle cards that I will be bringing into this reading. So let's get started with your tarot first and look into whether your person still feels, or not still, sorry, whether your person also feels the connection to you, feel as much drawn to you as you feel to them. Now keep in mind that this is a general reading, so not all the messages might resonate, but just take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else to find. Okay, so we are starting with the Page of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the Empress card. Ooh, look at this. It's such a beautiful, what a pretty Empress card, don't you think? I think so. Okay, so with the presence of the Empress card, I definitely feel that they are drawn to you, that they find you very attractive. The Empress can talk about a high level of attractive energy, attractiveness towards the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever kind of like partner that you want to attract or are attracted to, but definitely to a potential partner. The Empress energy is very attractive, okay? Sexually attractive in the sense. And that makes me feel right off the bat that the answer to your question of whether they feel attracted to you, drawn to you, it's a big yes, okay? Now, I feel like Empress energy represents your energy. The Empress card represents your energy. Even if you don't, think or feel like that about yourself, which I think that you should. I totally believe that you should. You should know how attractive you are. But let's say that you don't particularly feel that way. This is from their point of view. Keep that in mind. So this is how they view you. Okay, so your person, the person that you're thinking of, the connection on your mind, they definitely see you as someone that is very magnetic, attractive, sensual, sexual. Like, look at the coy, shy way that she's looking at the world, or at someone, like maybe like a partner that's standing right behind her, this female Is it a dog? Is it a fox? I'm not sure. But definitely a coy, shy, alluring kind of energy to this Empress. Like I said, a really beautiful card. I really enjoy the beauty of this card. But yeah, I think that, you know, even though you might not know that or might not be aware of your own sexuality, this person definitely sees you as someone very, very attractive and is definitely drawn to you. Okay, and with the Six of Pentacles energy, which is talking about an equal give and take, I have the feeling, I'm more inclined to say that with this pile especially, there is more of an awareness of this mutual interest and attraction as compared to the previous pile, which is, you know, pile 1 that I did. Or, you know, any other combination of cards is what I mean. I feel like you certainly, or there is definitely a part of you that is quite aware, maybe because of, you know, the things that you share, the things that your partner does, and how they behave in the connection, and how they make you behave, how they make you feel in their presence. I feel like there's definitely more of an awareness of a mutual attraction here. With this pile's energy is what I'm getting. And I feel like this connection might be at that stage where one of you guys come together, you really do enjoy the exchange, okay? So this doesn't feel like, it could be new-ish, but it doesn't feel like, you know, I have barely talked to them kind of a connection to me. I feel like there's some sharing, some like mutual coming together that has been achieved, or like that point of time, that junction in the connection has definitely been crossed, in which you guys have definitely shared a little bit with each other, and there has been an expression, either verbal or otherwise, of this mutual interest in this connection. The first thing that I noticed in the Page of Swords card is how this page seems to be like looking up, you know, to something up there. And this makes me feel like your person really looks up to you, okay? All these books also are making me think like this could be a connection that is related to like being in school, or, you know, something to do with higher education, for some of you definitely, if not for all of you. So that could be there, that could be one of the element of the connections, but definitely the Page of Swords as compared to the Empress and how they view you, again, this is their vision. This seems to be like a looking up to you kind of feeling is what this Page of Swords is giving me. They definitely see you as much more wiser, much more like together as compared to, you know, how naive and innocent and like a newbie this page looks as, like it is headed barefooted somewhere, you know, and it looks like it's like equipped with the sword and a book, and it's ready to take on the world. But there's definitely a sense of naivety to this Page of Swords energy, and this Empress feels much more put together, so to speak. So this could also represent like a differences in the level of maturity for you guys. It could also represent like age differences between the two of you, but more than that, even if it's not chronological age, in the sense like your person might be much older and you might be the one that is quite younger, definitely represents like a difference in the level of maturity for both of you. What else am I getting? So yeah, like I said, more awareness of mutual interest, and I feel like the time that you share with your person, whatever the mutual give and take is about, I feel like it makes both of you really happy. I mean, look how happy this, what is this animal? Is it the anteater? I'm looking at the shell that's on the backside, or on its back, and kind of getting anteater vibes, but the snout isn't long enough, so I'm not sure. But whoever this animal is, it definitely looks really genuinely happy. So I feel like you guys make each other really really happy, and it's a joyous thing. There's a lot of sharing, like joyous sharing, and like I said, they are definitely sexually attracted to you, find you very, very irresistible. Every time I work with this deck and I draw this card and I meditate on this Empress energy, like just look at her, like she is so beautiful, she's so attractive, so put together. So that's definitely the vibe that I'm getting. That's how they see you, like irresistible, absolutely irresistible. Let's look at the oracle cards and let's see what it is, because from these two cards I'm not getting like a sense of anything being blocked or like what is helping the connection. What is helping and keeping it going definitely is the mutual attraction, sorry about that, mutual attraction that the both of you feel towards each other. That is plainly and very obvious, but other than that I'm not getting a sense of like what's blocking it or helping it, and hopefully the oracle cards will give us an insight. So to start off, we have the Blue Temple. Okay, oh my god, this is interesting. The heat just turned up on this reading, on this connection. Really a lot of think of the Blue Temple as like entering a room, okay, with like blue light. So it's definitely like when you guys come together, it's a very different kind of feeling, atmospheric feeling to it, and there's a lot of like private sharing that happens. I feel like it's a space that you guys co-create and share, and grow from and enjoy, but a very private kind of an affair is the kind of feeling that I'm getting. And I feel like this person, which is another aspect of the Blue Temple, this person really makes you feel feelings and you make them feel feelings that you guys have not really experienced before or not really had the chance to explore in another connection. So this is something like pretty intense, pretty new, exciting, and like I said, something that is very unique to this person for you and unique for your person in regards to you. That is like you're the only person that has managed to bring that out within themselves. There's also like a moody nature to this connection. It's also like allowing your different sides to come out and shine. Again, things that you usually keep in your private, or there's a lot of privacy or hiding when it comes to like other relationships and other people or out in the social circle. But I feel like it all comes out to play in this very atmospheric kind of a setting that somehow seems to come out, or what do you call it? It just naturally is present when the two of you are together. So there's that kind of like I said, a very sensual space that is created when the two of you are together. Okay, I don't know how to describe this. It's a very kind of a feeling card more than something that lends itself to a accurate description. But think of like entering a room with blue lighting. It's a very different kind of atmosphere, and it definitely would affect like not only both of you guys' moods, but also what happens in that blue azure temple. Okay, which would be very characteristically, it would be very different than you guys being out there in the daylight or like normal lighting or something like that. Like something really shifts and changes when you guys are together, and it's something that both of you like find enjoyable, to say the least, with this Six of Pentacles energy here and the big smile on that animal's face. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's keep going. We have Nagas, Lovers, Erotica, and Sensuality. Okay, so like I said, your person definitely, like, there's a sensual energy right from the start with this spread, with this Empress card, as well as now the Nagas with their, you know, lovers, erotica, and sensuality. And so this seems to be a very like sexual, sensual connection, and a lot of like learning that is supposed to happen for both of you is through this exploration of your own sensuality and sexuality, I feel like. Then we have Olive with Peace. And we have Star Tetrahedron with number 12. Okay. Number 12, this comes to 1 and 2. Also, number 3 is the Empress card. So that's kind of like the connection that I saw right off the bat there. And as a tarot reader, for me, I look at like where the cards like fall during a tarot reading, and as I'm placing them on my reading table, so to speak, and that's kind of like the position of the card is significant to me in terms of how I read the cards. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Now, the overall vibe of both these cards is very much the same. The Star Tetrahedron is the balancing, first of all, in sacred geometry, which is what the deck is about. It's the sacred geometry of relationships or something like that. But basically, this is a representation of the balancing of both our female as well as male aspects of our personality. It could literally mean, like, especially with this reading and the energy as we see here, and also with the Nagas card, it could also literally mean like sexual union. But this card is something that talks about balancing of our female as well as both our male aspects, female and male aspects. So I feel like because of this union, or because of this connection, the way you guys, you know, make each other feel might be more balanced in a way, and more balancing of emotions, so to speak. And because of that, I feel like it generates a lot of feelings of peace. Like, this connection could be something in which, like, peace is important to both of you, your peace of mind and just a general level of well-being and peacefulness that this relationship brings to your life at this time. And I feel like this is something that is important for both of you. So you might be really like focused on maintaining the peace in the connection, or just like protective of, as I said, the feelings of well-being that this connection contributes to each of you, okay, or brings to both of you in your lives. Somehow it seems like a very central and important aspect of this connection. Let's take a look at your tea leaf cards. Oh wow, we have 4-leaf clover, great good fortune, awesome. Then we have involvement with the law with gavel. And we have protected from negative forces beyond your control with the cobweb cards. Okay, so with this cobweb card, I kind of feel like your connection is divinely protected at this time. In the sense, like, what this tells me is that you mustn't worry about, you know, you mustn't worry too much about the connection, the future of the connection, and, you know, the potential problems that you might believe that will come up in this relationship, because I feel like there is something outside of you that is really keeping this relationship protected. It's almost feels to me like a meant to be kind of journey that you need to go through with your person. and just something that is divinely being orchestrated, assisted at this time. The gavel with the involvement with the law, this makes me feel like, especially in relationship readings, the first thing that comes to mind is, you know, either you or your partner being involved in a legal matter that directly affects this relationship, okay? And it also could be talking about like your ex-partners, or like going through a separation or divorce for either one of you or both of you. But it's interesting that it comes up, you know, on top of this peace card, and also the Six of Pentacles, which is when I said that, you know, you guys coming together, like there's something like very peaceful, or a feeling of peace that you both seem to be seeking at this time. And it could be respite from this kind of problematic legal situation that you or your partner or both of you might be involved in at this time, and something that is directly like affecting this relationship. But we also have a really great card here with the 4-leaf clover, and it talks about like great good fortune. So I feel like with the cobweb card, which is talking about protection, and also like good fortune, I feel like, at least for right now, this connection is going through a time of great fortune, which means like the circumstances around, or that potentially can affect and have affected this connection, are especially aligned in a way that is for this connection, in order to like help it grow, help you guys share more, help it flower to its greatest potential. It would be interesting to look at like the future, which is the next step. But like I said, like you need not at this time, even if you are potentially worried about like the future of this connection, or like where is this relationship going, I feel like you need to drop those worries and know that, you know, there's a lot of assistance outside of you. And you know, it says protected from the negative forces beyond your control. So even if there's something that is making you feel like you wish you could control, or you wish you could fix, change, and that is affecting this relationship, this is like a straight up message for you guys to understand that this is not something that you need to be worried about. Because I felt in the beginning, like for especially this pile, it doesn't look like you guys are not aware of the mutual interest that you guys share and how deeply you feel connected. It would be good to like share this video with your person as well, so that at least for this part of the reading, to help them understand that it's not something that you need to be worried about. And there's a lot of luck that surrounds the both of you. It could be like they are lucky for you, it could be that you are lucky for them, but just there's a lot of feeling of happiness, shared happiness in this relationship. So yeah, let's go to the part of the reading that talks about the potential future of this connection based on what we see in the cards. And we have the 4 of Wands. Awesome. Let's keep reading. We have the 7 of Swords. Okay. We have the 6 of Cups. Okay, and we have the Tower. Very interesting. So it kind of looks like, you know, it went from, I don't want to say this and not say this in a way, but there is a potential, let me say that, in the near future, or as this connection unfolds, there is a potential for this connection to turn into something more, but that comes with like a warning, if you will, as I see here in this spread, a word of caution, or like something you guys need to be aware of. It might develop into like, if this has, first of all, it has great potential to turn into a long-term relationship. Okay, the Four of Wands is about laying the foundation for something that is more stable. So the four pillars, the four foundation, the four corners that make a foundation on which you can build even more, so to speak. But as the events flow, there is a potential that you guys might have the Tower moment, which is, very much in contrast with the Four of like Wands energy. This is like a foundation where something is laying, something is built, but then that is broken. And I feel like, the way Spirit is sort of communicating this to you is by these two cards, which to me are kind of like a word of caution. I feel like there is a need for more honesty and more emotional sharing in this connection. Like I said, with the energy of the Naga's card, which seems to be like focused a lot on sensuality, erotica, and sex, and going through and like exploring this connection sexually more. I feel like your honesty, your true authentic selves might not be as present as is needed in this connection for both of you, or at least for one of you. The Seven of Swords can talk about self-sabotage, but it also can be about deceit. And while this does not have to mean like your person is trying to cheat you or like they are being deceptive, this could mean like there is a fear of revealing as much as is truly needed for a authentic connection. And that is not being done, or not being executed in a way that it should be right now in this connection. So there is a need to remove any kind of what do you call it? I don't want to say like deception, but like if there is something that is scaring you and making you hold back your true authentic selves, and not like maybe say the things that you need to say or express what you need to express, maybe for you or your person or for both of you, there's this kind of like a warning that there needs to be, this blockage needs to be removed. And also the Six of Cups, I see that as like emotional sharing, like emotionally or kind of like the communication that has more emotions in it. Like there seems to be like these two aspects that are lacking somewhat in this relationship and in this connection. So what Spirit is showing, that if you don't work on these things, which is like, do not work on your authenticity and pay attention to like being more open and honest in this relationship, and also talk more about your emotions and increase the depth of your emotional sharing. If that is not done, then maybe like, even though this might look like a good potential, and you might even go there and take the steps to build something more out of the foundation that you already have with this person, you might be coming up for a rude awakening where the things that should have been taken care of before, they were not taken care of. And it literally looks like, wow, I'm just noticing this, but we have one individual that's wearing blue and red, and we have the same kind of garments or like clothing for the people that are falling off the tower. So I feel like there's really a need to talk about things more, maybe certain details you need to hash out, and just more openness and honesty with your emotions, present emotions, and also like your thoughts and feelings about the future of this connection that need to be really worked on at this point. And it's almost like Spirit is trying to make you aware of this and kind of giving you a heads up, you know, like, hey, take care of this, or it might be something that, again, is forced to happen between the two of you, because the Tower energy is usually something outside of ourselves, like, you know, a lightning striking, as we see here, that causes like big disruptions in our lives, and that's usually with the need for the truth to emerge, or something that was not fixed and out of balance, that to come into balance. So sometimes that means the structure as is needs to break down first. So to avoid this kind of progressive path, there has to be more, like I said, focus on authenticity and more depth, emotional depth to this connection needs to be brought in. Okay, but like I said, do they feel the connection? Yes, and there is great potential, but with this caveat that we just discussed. Okay, so I really hope that you like this reading. Is there anything else I have for you? No, I think this is where I'll leave your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in booking a private reading with me, my email is in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hi, Group 3. So if you chose the red Fire and Ice crystal and the Mystical Medleys tarot deck, this is your reading. So as I mentioned in the intro portion of this video, I'm keeping these readings relatively shorter than my usual filming style, which is filming hour-long readings, which I really enjoy doing, but in order to like cut the time a little short and still keep the reading just as informative, I am working with cards that have been pre-drawn for this reading. So I've drawn all the tarot and the oracle cards that I'm going to be using in the reading. And also keep in mind that this is a general reading, so not all the messages are going to resonate. Only take those ones that feel true to you and find resonance within you, and leave the rest for someone else to enjoy. So let's start with sorry about that. Let's get started with your tarot cards and see if we can get a insight into the question of whether your person feels a connection to you and feels as drawn to you as you do in this relationship. So we are starting with the Eight of Wands, the Hanged Man. So the Eight of Wands and the Hanged Man, right off the bat, this is making me feel like the connection might have come to an end, or maybe to a standstill, with no progress being made in this relationship. Like things have gone stagnant, and I am noticing like this Hanged Man hanging upside down. First of all, the Hanged Man can talk about like things being in a limbo, that is, things having come to a standstill and a stop and some sort of like pause in the flow of the connection. But the Hanged Man can also talk about your perspective either changing or needing a change. Okay, so usually this is, you know, gaining like some kind of an insight into either the situation, or in this case maybe the relationship, or maybe their viewpoint changing, but there definitely needs to be a need, I feel like, for your person to either change their perspective, or this could be a message for you. But let's keep drawing the cards and see what comes up. But I feel like definitely things are in limbo right now, with, you know, either the communication has ceased. The Eight of Wands usually is a card of communication, but you know, the Eight of Wands in combination with the Hanged Man. And another thing that is intuitively drawing my attention is how these witches on the broomsticks, which represent wands in this deck apparently, they're flying away. So this is like somebody exiting the situation. This is somebody leaving the relationship behind, the connection behind, and it feels like there's a rapid release or like a rapid exit from this connection. So this could be your person, this could be you, or just like circumstantially, it might feel like things have gotten to a point where it's like, you know, there is a sudden shift. Yeah, that's the word that I was thinking of, the sudden shift in energies with things coming to a standstill. But let's see what the other two cards are. We have the Seven of Wands. Okay. And we have the Five of Pentacles. There were 4 cards with the other readings that I filmed today. I drew 3 cards to look at this part, but for your pile, I had 4 cards come up. But yeah, anyway, so Seven of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so the Five of Pentacles talks about these feeling rejected. Okay, like your person has shut you off, or maybe you have done that to your person. But in this connection, there is a lack of understanding, or like lack of, you know, progress. And as I said, with the Hanged Man, things coming to an absolute standstill, and one of you or maybe both of you are feeling shut out, cut off by your person. The Five of Pentacles, of course, there is an element of sadness to it. So you might be feeling sad, or your person might be feeling sad because of how things have turned around and how things are manifesting right now in this connection. Maybe both of you are feeling that, but there is a lack of resonance, I feel like, between the two of you, in which either both of you, or at least like your person or you, are not being able to see eye to eye with regards to like some area in this relationship. So answering the bigger question that we were looking at, do they feel connected to you? I feel like the spread of cards so far, unfortunately, they're not giving me a clear answer, but I'm leaning more towards like this connection, like being complicated in a way that they might be thinking of you, but at this time it's also like in a way that they want to avoid things. Okay, like avoid confrontation or things going from bad to worse, and in fact having gone quite bad actually between the two of you. That's the feeling that I'm getting. The Seven of Wands is energy of you know, putting your defenses up. This is, you know, somebody in this connection is being quite stubborn about their position, about their beliefs, about you know, feeling that they are absolutely right in either taking whatever stance they took in this relationship or the way they behaved. But this seems to be like the central problem, and this is where I said that there needs to be like either a different way of looking at things between the two of you, either for your person or for both of you, or there needs to be a shift in consciousness that needs to happen here so that you both are able to view things differently. Right now, I feel like, you know, all of their defenses are up and they're feeling quite combative almost. I'm getting that energy. And this can also come from like past experiences. So maybe in their past or their relationships, there's something about this connection that I feel like might be triggering for both of you, or either like just for your person. And this could be reminiscent of a past connection that they have had, or some kind of like wound, emotional wound being triggered, which makes them like either like wanting to leave the situation, not get like things more confrontational, or just feel threatened in a way. There's definitely a lot of fear that I'm sensing with this character here in the cards. So I feel like when the relationship got to a point that it triggered them somehow, whether it's like wounds from their past or like a past relationship, think like some kind of trauma or something that they are unable to like fully understand, they have not healed, they might have taken the action in which they might have chosen to walk away and made you feel like rejected, left you feeling disconnected from the relationship. But a perspective shift is not only needed, but I feel like it is coming. It is coming for this person, and they might already be somewhat at either the starting point or the middle of that personal transformation, because like I said, there's a halo of light around this person's head, which is drawing my attention with this card. And I feel like there's something that this person really needs to understand and change their perspective on this connection, or how they view you, or how they view this relationship. Okay, so unfortunately I'm not getting a clear answer with this spread, whether, you know, like answering the question whether they feel the connection too. I feel like of course they do. This could be actually, I'm thinking, the other thing that pops into my mind is that this connection might be too intense for them, in the sense that they might have felt way too drawn to you to begin with, and then left the connection quite abruptly. This could also be ghosting, and the energy of like somebody just, you know, leaving the relationship, or like without explanation, without saying much, and making you feel again like those feelings of rejection and sadness. That is very much a part of Five of Pentacles energy. So if that is the case for you, with you, I do feel bad. I'm really sorry. I hope that, you know, it's not a very tough phase for you to handle, and that you're going through it in a relatively like good state. But if that is the case, like if ghosting is what has happened here, with you know, like leaving you without answers, then it was very wrong of them to do that. But unfortunately, like Spirit is somewhat asking me to speak from their side, in not making excuses, but in a way to like help you understand that your person has certain triggers within them that might be you know, in particular related to just this relationship, that is their connection with you, but it also could be, it feels more like something coming from their past, like nothing to do with you. And by the way, when I said that it could just be this connection with you, I didn't mean to say that you're the problem or that you were the trigger. Mind you, I really want to clarify that's not what I meant. I just meant like something in this situation which might be unique to this connection did trigger them. It does not mean that it's the exact same thing, or like that is the reason why they get triggered. Triggers are basically wounding that we haven't looked at, we haven't healed from our past, which kind of manifests itself as a sort of dysfunction. And particularly in relationships, it really interferes with our ability to form lasting connections with other people, or form real love connections. So I hope that is clear, and I hope that you got that I'm not trying to imply that you were the trigger, but like I said, it's somewhat of a perspective on the situation, let's say, through this reading that Spirit is offering here, which is, you know, helping you understand that this person really needs to go and heal those triggers that makes them behave in these kind of behaviors, which is like either leaving you stranded, or not saying what needs to be said and just exiting the connection. And like I said, Eight of Wands usually talks about like communication and movement, but I'm noticing like from this spread, the witches are all flying like away, like I said, which is the first feeling that I got. So it's possible that you're on their minds, but not in a way that they are processing in a healthy sort of a way. I feel like this is more avoidance behavior on your person's part. Let's look at the Oracle and hopefully get some insight into what is going on. So we have, what is this? Chiron, maybe. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm not sure at all. Maybe you can let me know. Okay, but let's talk about this card before I flip over the others. So the energy of Chiron is basically transmuting your pain into wisdom, and sort of like becoming a beacon of light and of guidance for others, and also using that wisdom and bringing that wisdom to any situations in the future that you might encounter. So with this card kind of feeding into the entire energy of the situation as it's unfolding, I feel like for both of you, this connection is sort of like the energy of the Chiron, where, you know, learning from your pain, because definitely both of you are in pain, with that Five of Pentacles energy, like feelings of rejection. And actually there's a wonderful story behind this card, and it's, I think, the son of Saturn, if I'm not wrong, that was rejected by the gods in... hold on, let me grab the booklet for this deck and let me read to you from the deck, from the book, the information on this card. I think it will be very useful. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and here we go. It says, Chiron is a cosmic enigma. In Greek mythology, yeah, so it was Greek, I was right. In Greek mythology, he is said to be the rejected son of Saturn, who through the pain of abandonment becomes a great teacher and a healer. Such is the paradoxical nature of this minor planet. It demonstrates that our pain is a great resource. It will guide us to our deepest purpose if we are able to observe it slowly, gently, and with support. When Chiron card appears, know that you're being called to deepen the work, to delve into tender parts of yourself that require patience and forgiveness. Victim mentality will get you nowhere. Your past blaming. It's time to let your painful experiences serve as the beacon of light to others. Yeah, I remembered this about this particular card. Chiron reminds us of where we have been and where that allows us to go. So there we go. This is what I mean. This is about transforming your pain. Very much like Chiron, which is the rejected son of Saturn, and how he went ahead and turned his pain into a lot of wisdom through which he was able to become kind of like a guide to somebody else, which might not be for you becoming the guide, but definitely transforming our pain into our greatest strength. So I feel like, you know, because I see pain, in this connection, or as a result of your person acting in the way that they acted, I definitely see feelings of sadness. I feel like you're being encouraged to look at this connection or this relationship and the lessons you're learning through that pain, and kind of have that resolve. And we can easily make that choice, actually, even though in the moment when it's especially painful, it might feel like an impossible choice, but I feel like it's a very much of a conscious choice. I personally believe that, and I have experienced that through my own life, like making a conscious choice of turning your pain into your greatest strength. It could be, so the strength could look like a greater perception about human nature. It could be having a much deeper understanding of our own selves, and elevated like spiritual consciousness. So it could mean different things for different people, but it's a conscious choice that we make, and I feel like you're being encouraged to do that. That is how you must approach the difficult situation that this relationship might have put you in, or the difficult emotions that this relationship might be bringing up. I feel like that is the distinct message that Spirit is trying to deliver to you. Let's look at the other oracle cards. We have Flower of Life. We have Olive with Peace. And we have Owl Guardian. Okay. So the Owl Guardian, right off the bat, because I am quite familiar with this card, owl is a symbol of guidance. And typically if that doesn't represent like an outer entity for you. More often than not, the owl is representative of our own higher self. Okay, which even if, and I don't know if you believe this or if you understand this, but I hope you do. I have faith that you do. But even if an outside person or an entity is representing that guidance for us, or like acting as the spiritual guide, know that you have manifested them from within you. So there is no separation really. So anyways, even if this does not represent like you receiving guidance from your environment or a spiritual teacher or somebody else, this talks about our intuition, the ability to tune into our own intuition, and also deepening the connection with our higher self. I'm also seeing the moon here in the card, a new moon. So the moon energy can talk about like our shadow aspects and the lesser known parts about us. And I like that it is a new moon. And so I feel like it will be brought into light, or enlightened in time, as you continue to like I said, tune into the higher self and the guidance that you're receiving. And the way that you're guided is through the voice of intuition. The voice of intuition is a very clear voice that does not elicit any lower vibratory emotions like fear, doubt, insecurity, attachment, getting too attached to something. It's a very, very clear, calm voice, okay, which you will be able to hear. It's just a part of, like, everybody is intuitive, by the way. It's not like a gift that is very special for, let's say, like tarot readers or like people who are into like divination. It's a gift that we all have. It's just a matter of like practicing to enhance that gift and to use it and to sharpen that skill even more. But you're being called to do that, to listen to your intuition as you navigate this connection and as you navigate this situation, these feelings that you might be experiencing at this point of time. Also the flower of life. The flower of life, what do you call it? The geometric design. It's not a pentagon. I think it's a hexagon with 6 sides or whatever. But like it is representative of the interconnectedness and like different parts being part of the whole, making the whole. So not being separate from the whole. So it's kind of like, what I said here with the intuition and the manifestation of an outside source. It's basically your own higher self bringing that form to you, but not being separate from it. So I feel like this is very much talking about a potential for conscious enlightenment and seeing things more clearly. It's like you become more cognizant of the parts that are contributing, let's say, to a situation, or becoming just more aware, more perceptive, deepening your understanding of how it's all interconnected, how energy works. Now this could of course like mean different things for different people, and you might resonate with the information with like different words, but it basically is like an increasing awareness within you, the ability, much like the Hanged Man from the first part of the reading, the previous spread, much like increased consciousness and the ability to see things much more clearly, and something that would give you a different perspective on things. And I feel like this contributes, this spiritual development, this evolution that you are going through, that's going to contribute to you feeling more peaceful eventually, I feel like, about this relationship, about this connection. If there are any feelings of pain and sadness and being rejected and abandonment, from this person, and as a result of this relationship, I feel like it's going to transmute into peace as you work on connecting with your higher self for guidance, and as your consciousness grows to show you the deeper layers almost of this relationship and this connection of human nature and of everything else. It's a very complex machinery, so to speak, this raising of consciousness, and it's certainly not like a linear path. So there are many moving parts, but often all of them are contributing to your spiritual evolution. And so if you are right now, like I said, I'm sorry if this is something that you're going through right now, and if this pain is quite fresh, I'm very sorry to know that and to become aware of that through these cards. But make that choice of transmuting your pain into your power, your wisdom, your spiritual growth. And it's a choice, like I said. Make that choice, dare to make that choice, and affirm that that is where you're headed, and that is what the meaning of every pain in your life is, a greater spiritual evolution. And that is how it turns out. And I'm talking from like my personal absolute personal experience. Okay, let's take a look at your tea leaf cards. We have Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. So this could be representative of, I'm going to put it right next to the Seven of Wands energy, because that makes me feel like there is a defensive stubbornness about this person that you are thinking of, that is on your mind right now. And they are, like I said, unable to really view any other viewpoint as valid other than their own. So this is someone that you can't really reason with, because they seem to be like stuck in a place which is held together through that level of consciousness, if that makes sense. And only an increase or like rising of their level of consciousness will make them see things much more differently. Maybe will make that you see things much more differently too. Not maybe, that's a certain. You're going to have a different opinion about everything at the end of your transformation. But right now there is a stubborn energy, and this typically makes me feel like there is no point in butting your head with the Ram, because the person is beyond reason. Like, they're not gonna change by you like trying to like make them see how how much pain this has caused you. Like, the communication or any kind of like expression of your own viewpoint or what you're going through is not going to affect this person. I'm getting the sense. So it's best to like let them be. What is going to help with the situation is your own transformation, and when they get to their transformation and see things differently. But at this point of time, it could be pointless, or it is pointless to reason with this person somehow. Okay. We have teardrops, great personal sorrow. I'm going to put it right next to the Five of Pentacles. Like I said, this seems to be like a difficult connection, or like, if this is a ghosting, abandonment type of situation, certainly there's pain. But again, with Chiron, Spirit is showing us that you have a choice of transmuting that. Then we have bouquet, compliments from an admirer. So how I read the bouquet cards, and with some of these tea leaf oracle cards, I have my own personal associations with the meanings of the card. And how I see the bouquet card is, some kind of like apology, or like opening the door to communicate, like some sort of like setting the vibe, or resetting the vibe, it might be a better way of saying this, in a way so that it leaves the door open for furthering the communication. So it could be that your person is going to reach out for some of you. You might hear an apology at the end of it all. But of course, definitely, like, don't wait for it, and don't let your healing be dependent on it. But I feel like there is an apology coming. It also could be like, for some of you, your person does feel bad and does feel guilty over the way they acted, if, you know, especially if they have ghosted you without any explanation. So I feel like in future there is a possibility that this guilt that they feel will prompt them to open that door to communicating with you again and apologize to you. But of course, don't wait for it. But there is an indication here in the cards that if this is your hope, then for some of you this is a possibility then that it might happen. Now let's go to the part of the reading that talks about, you know, what's going to happen in the future based on what we see here in the cards. I'll just grab those cards and be right back. Okay, so let's take a look at, you know, what's going to happen in the future for you based on what we see in the cards right now. And we are starting with the Ten of Cups. And, you know, there's an interesting thing I want to say about the first two cards that came up for you. And the second one is the Four of Wands. So as I was picking up my Rider-Waite tarot deck, by the way, this is from the Rider-Waite tarot deck, in case you didn't know that. And if you're interested in that sort of an info of the information on the cards that I'm using or the decks I'm using, that's always in the description box. So as I was picking up the decks to shuffle for this part of the reading, I kind of, these two cards peeked out and I kind of, you know, saw them. But then to draw the cards, I actually gave it quite a thorough shuffle. And interestingly enough, these were the two cards that popped up yet again. So it almost feels like, you know, underlined definitive message from Spirit that, you know, Ten of Cups and Four of Wands is the energy that you are headed into, even though, like I said, you don't feel like that right now. We also got the Seven of Pentacles, which is beautiful, and I'll talk about that. And then we have the Devil, which is my favorite tarot card from the entire 78 card deck that typically is, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. But talking about like the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Cups is long-term emotional fulfillment. Okay, Cups is the water energy, so the energy of emotions in the tarot, and the Ten of Cups talks about finding that kind of space which is so emotionally fulfilling and being able to create that space for the long term. I feel like if you are looking for a relationship, a long-term relationship, then that is on the horizon for you guys. Maybe not with this person, but I feel like I'm instinctively getting that we are, in drawing these cards, we are stepping away from the energy of the person that you're thinking of within this connection when you chose this pile. But a long-term connection, I feel like, is something that, if not all of you, most of you are looking for at this point of time. And yes, this is a confirmation from Spirit that there will be a reason in the future to celebrate that kind of love. I really love the combined energy of the Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands, which is, you know, finding a long-term happy relationship, an emotionally fulfilling relationship in the future. Now, these two cards, I feel like, are talking about your spiritual side, and the Seven of Pentacles is becoming more mindful. I feel like what is in your future is you becoming or gaining the ability to be more mindful of the energy that you're putting in to the universe in regards to anything that you're wanting to manifest in your life, and just becoming more aware. Self-awareness is the thing that comes to mind when I look at Seven of Pentacles, especially in the context of the larger context of the Devil energy, which, like I said, is my favorite card, because the Devil can typically make us feel at various points of times in our lives it can make us feel like we are stuck, like we are slave to a situation, like we have no way out. But the most interesting thing about the devil is that these chains that bind these two people to the devil, they're just like a loose chain around their neck, so they can easily like remove it and throw it away. It's a personal choice that they need to make. And also the horns on the top of the devil's head, they represent like every time you make that choice to free yourself of anything, be it like a thought pattern, be it an addiction, be it dysfunctional behavior, be it like any situation, any emotion that makes you feel like you're stuck. Every time we make that choice to empower ourselves and to understand that we really are actually free and always like have the option to leave that behind us and to heal from that, it is an opportunity for spiritual growth, if you know what I mean. So if in regards to like these two cards, I feel like there are gonna be ample instances in your life where you will be feeling challenged, of course, but you will gain the ability, I feel like, to keep freeing yourself out of, you know, tough situations and just become sort of like a master of your own life, which means like a master of your own emotions by becoming more aware of your own energy. Okay, so very thoughtful, mindful kind of space to be in, and someone who can really like conquer or easily conquer devil type of scenarios or situations that you might find yourself in. So there's tremendous kind of spiritual growth that I see in your future, and the answer is yes for those of you that are looking for the long-term relationship and finding like an emotionally fulfilling relationship with someone else. So again, like I said, unfortunately, like I had an agenda in mind when I started the reading to get you the answer to the question, you know, whether your person feels a connection to you too. But oftentimes or sometimes this happens where, you know, it's not like a very clear answer, but something else comes up that you must know at this point of time. That's what I completely believe, that the messages that came through today for you in this reading were some things that you really needed to hear. Okay, so what else? Nope, that is all about your reading. That's all I'm getting at this point of time. I think I'm gonna leave this reading here. Thank you so much for being here. If you are interested in booking a private reading with me, where we can talk about the specifics of your situation, the email to contact me is in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.